Good morning. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. Today's Sunday, June 8th, and I don't know, my throat's a little raspy because we have wildfires that have started in Montana. We have 11 going on right now. So it's a little intense, very intense. So what we're going to talk about today is the heart and this frequency that I've been noticing and experiencing, and thought I'm going to take a little stretch and share with you what I've been putting together, and sort of pair it with the solar flares, right? And this big plasma wave we just had. So let's go. First and foremost, the solar flares have been quiet. They've been quiet all week. C1, C4 at the most. A lot of Bs, and I'm just enjoying the fact that there isn't that additional solar flare sort of hit from us while we are dealing with all these other things that are going on, especially this plasma, right? So we're in this really extraordinary window where we're being pressed gently, but maybe not so gently, to in our hearts, in our emotions, in our bodies, in our ability to sort of discern what is true. And that seems to be the thing that's coming up the most. Is like, I don't know if I believe that anymore. I don't know if I like that idea. I don't align with that. And there's just all these pieces, right? Like, what's going on? So first and foremost, we had this plasma wave. Now, we've had flares, and then we've had plasma that comes with the flares. And the plasma symptoms and the solar flare symptoms are the same. So I've been starting to look at it like, what if the flares go down and the plasma stays or plasma increases? And then per Alexander Quinn, Stephan Burns, the list of the people that I usually work with are talking about this huge plasma wave that hit us last Sunday when we were talking, right? Or saying it was coming. It came in the 30th, the 31st of May, June 1st, and it was just like coming. And from the galactic lens, plasma is a living light intelligence. And so what it does is it encoded information from the cosmos, and it picks up and adapts and shares its information with whatever cellular or living or sentient energy that it comes in contact with. It's an exchange. And so when this plasma wave came in, it reconfigured us, right? Totally reconfigured everything, and you can sort of feel it, right? Now, I think that the plasma has been increasing since October, November 2024, because we started to feel some symptoms that were going on within us at that time, and not being being unable to describe what they were or track them as well, especially in February, March, April, and May. The tracking has been difficult. So as the plasma has been rising, the sun, flares have become sort of oddly quiet. I think last week we talked about the biggest flare that we had was an M8, and that was significant, and it sort of vibrated us, but that was it. And it goes like up just to a flare, and then it comes right back down to C1, B9, B7. So with this last big wave, we're going to call it a dimensional threshold. So if you work with the Pleiadians, they say that this cannot, it can't bring into us what is no longer in truth. So the Pleiadians are kind of like, like if it isn't in truth, it can't align with your body anymore. And I'm like, so I wonder what that would be like. And then I started to work with the heart. Okay, because we're in this integration phase. And as I said, from June 2nd to the 6th, we were delving into this plasma wave that was reconfiguring us. And it was a doozy. A lot of naps during the day, going to bed early, fatigue, anxiety spikes, erratic sleep, forgetfulness, and heart palpitations, heart fluttering, and some sort of physical symptoms that could be scary if you're thinking you're having a heart attack, or that you might need to go to the ER, because your heart is doing something incredible that we aren't able to understand. And, I've been muscle testing when I have these palpitations. Like, is this a real medical emergency? Is this something I need to deal with? And by no means, I'm not giving you any medical advice. I'm saying I muscle tested and I kept getting, just breathe through it. It's something, it's an upgrade. It's happening. And so these flutters would come in and they were a little unnerving at the beginning. And I've started to learn to work with those, right? Because what I'm putting together here is, like if we get hit with plasma, our entire body glows, right? And then what it does is it interacts with our torus. So this is the human toroidal field. So when we get something in, it goes through this cycle into our body. And I have several pictures of what the torus looks like energetically. I really like this one because it really speaks to the heart energy that we're going to talk about, right? And this is all managed by our heart, because our heart is a galactic tuner. Our heart isn't just this circulatory system that pumps blood and helps our blood vessels and our body sustain itself. It's a multidimensional tuner, and it translates frequencies. So when we're working on this toroidal field, what we're doing is we're bringing in these frequencies and we're starting to implement them into our field. So the Arcturians, they teach that the heart's toroidal field is not only, it doesn't only stabilize your energy body, but it communicates with the grids. And I thought, we've talked about grid work. We've talked about uploads, downloads. We've talked about, these sort of powerful energy that we're experiencing. And what I started to realize was that there was this one time I was sitting on the couch and my heart started to go like, boom, 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 boom. And I was like, what is this? And then finally I said, is this a language? And what I got so clearly was, this is a language. Let it communicate. And so what we're doing is we're communicating. And so our chest is this antenna. Our heart is an inner antenna, and it's aligning us with resonance. Does that make sense? And so here we are, in this mystical energy, right? And it's almost as if as it starts to come in, we become this toroidal master of frequency, and it stems from our heart. So this heart is starting to align with the plasma wave. It's starting to shift and communicate and generate a new frequency. I know that, that is a difficult concept to understand, that it is our heart as a main communicator to the rest of the world. And so then it works with resonance. It works with coherence. It works with alignment. Okay, so now let's add one more piece, is that Neptune went into Aries, and we talked about this months ago, on March 30th, right? Which began a new 165-year cycle of Neptune. Now, Neptune rules the ocean, it rules emotions, and it rules spiritual perception. It is the deep. It's the higher octave of Venus. So it holds that beauty and that resonance, but at a much higher level, right? So now what we're seeing is with this plasma wave, it's interacting, and Neptune's encoding and decoding it and communicating it to us. So we're stepping into a different level of, the word is probably self-leadership. Where we're using our own internal devices to navigate. Oh, is this real for me? Is this not? Am I working in cohesion with the rest of the universe and the world? I absolutely am, right? So what we've been igniting is our own inner compass. And so things that have started to happen when we're in this toroidal field that's activated is that, we've been maybe living for others. I do this because it makes you happy. It's like, I'm not doing that anymore. You've been hiding your skills and knowledge because you don't want anybody to know, and they're just bursting out of you, and you've avoided conflict, and people, places, and things are now leaving. So on a personal note, I got a call from my brother that my father passed after years of dementia. And in the processing of this news, it was relief and joy because he'd been struggling for so long. And as I sat back after the call, what prompted me to do this Sunday was that this pulsing kept coming out of my body, and there was like a lineage release. There were some karmic pieces that released, and I just sat there in this pulsing. And I said, this heart, we need to talk about this heart frequency because something was activated by that. Now, tomorrow, Jupiter, which is the planet of expansion, moves into Cancer, which is the heart and hearth, right? So we've had this wave of expansion, and now we're going to hold a wave of plasma. And now we're going to hold this expansion in the sign of Cancer, and it's going to be beautiful and lovely and peaceful and sort of serene as we learn who we are on this planet with this pulsating new frequency, right? We're also, as a result of this, doing some emotional detoxing, which makes sense, right? Because as our heart expands, it's got to clear out the density. It's got to clear out what isn't in alignment. And what can look like, oh my gosh, my world is in complete emotional chaos. I don't know if I want to work here anymore. I don't know if I want this relationship. I don't know how I feel. What's happening is that we're growing beyond the stored frequencies. So as we expand and the frequencies start to interact on a much more profound level, right? What's happening is that ancestral grief, lineage patterns and stories, karmic identities, even our survival programming is just absolutely picking up and leaving. It is disappearing. And it's like, wow, for me personally, to be able to let go of survival patterning and find out that it's really just time for it to leave was wonderful. Yeah. So we're shifting into what's more of a crystalline heart. It could be called the diamond heart. And I love it that, in 2008, our diamond kids started arriving, and it made it possible for this diamond frequency, this crystalline frequency of self-trust, truth recognition, presence, or sovereign presence started to be able to become a lot easier. And now just in the last month or two, it seems like it's become a whole lot easier, right? So much better. So once we begin to pulse with this heart frequency, right, then falsehood can't remain. We let go of what no longer belongs in it. And we don't do it from anger. I don't like you anymore. I don't want this, or avoidance. We're just doing it from clarity. As a matter of fact, it's sort of like there isn't even a conflict. The communication just simply stops, or the relationship just simply closes up and folds and leaves. So I have 6 tips for you. And before I go into that, I want to remind you that down below in the link, I have, or down below in the description, I have a link for my Patreon. Patreon's a really good way to interact with other souls that want to chat with this. We have a Tuesday evening discussion. I encourage everyone to post all of these articles, pictures, anything that we're seeing here that we want to learn more about is on the Patreon. It's a membership site in order to get to the communications. And then on a second tier, I'm also doing tarot and dropping, sort of the more complex perspectives and more interesting ideas of how tarot works the way that I teach it. And I'm running that on Patreon as well. So by all means, come over and join. I'd love to see you there. Okay, tip number 1. Hand on heart. Ask and listen. Like, what do you need right now? What can you tell me? Because what we want to do is we want to take our attention from outside and we want to bring it in and go, I hear you. Oh, look at you. You're doing some interesting communication. And so you want to invite coherence. You want to invite alignment. Okay, so hand on heart, first one. Number 2, spiral movements. Anything you can do. So when you're cooking, maybe you just move in a circle, or maybe you rock from side to side, slow dancing. I like the baby rock. I've got two, they're not quite 3 months old yet, from 2 different daughters, grandbabies. And so, that grandma rock is really easy. Figure 8s. hips around. Anything you can do to integrate this energy is going to help. I found myself humming a lot. And I noticed in the backyard when I'm gardening that when I hum, the dogs behind me get quiet. The animals start to sort of lean in. And I realize I must be communicating on a much different level. I love it. It's so fun. Number 3, acknowledge, bless, and release. Right? Anything that's done in your life, like, yep, that was fun. That was over. My survival pattern is gone, right? And make a list of what falls off, or when it's done, and speak it out loud, like, wow, I am, and I've been catching myself like using all of my detail management and my observation skills to make sure that there's money coming in the door, that there's clients that are booked, that there's this, and it can be a little intense. So what I've been doing is actually speaking it out loud. I'm letting go of micromanaging. I'm letting go of survival. I'm moving into acknowledging that what I don't want to carry forward is financial stress or emotional stress or performance, right? Like all of these pieces that we've been trained, we want to start letting go and say it out loud. So what we're doing is we're speaking it and then we're allowing it to leave, right? So acknowledge, bless, release what is done. Just get it out. And number 4, hydrate. We've talked about this, right? We've talked about that you need minerals, that you need electrolytes in your water. But there's also one more piece that I think we want to add, which is how do you stabilize your water? How do you get water out of the system that you're using, right? And how do you use your own energy to stabilize it and ask it, what does my body need? And put that into your water and drink it. Now, you can go onto ChatGPT, you can Google, you can do whatever you need to do, but look at how you energetically stabilize your water. You can also drink coconut water, which is a really easy way to sort of soothe the body. I've noticed that my body likes coconut water much more now than it ever has, because what we're looking at is ways to support the electrical, conductivity, right? Of how we process all of this energy as it is coming into our bodies, right? And how we build cellular coherence, right? Number 5. Speak from the heart. Is this a wound that when someone is talking with you and you want to like defend, or you want to go, no, that's not true, go like, wow. And sometimes I even like go back to putting my hand on my heart and go like, I'm not gonna say that. And I'll say that inside my head, like, let's let that one go. I don't need to be heard. I don't need to defend. I don't need to fight. And so if more of us did this, we said, what's coherence look like? What does it feel like to be in connection with the person I'm talking about? Then what we do is we speak to resonate, not to defend. Okay, so when we speak from the heart, we back down on defending or needing to be right or needing to be heard, and we go for resonance. We go for connection, right? And number 6, compassion, because we've been rocked. All of us have been rocked. I have a few friends that they'll say, hey, this is what I'm noticing today. And I'm like, yeah, I got it. This is what I'm noticing today. And we're learning new things about our body. We're learning new ways that we are holding all of this energy. And we're learning to trust the heart palpitations, the aches and pains, the rise and fall in anxieties. And we're all doing it differently. And some of us are angry and scared, and some of us are blissful and happy. So whatever it is for you, be kind, be generous, be compassionate with yourself and with others. So I hope that helps. And please drop a comment and let me know if this helped you understand what this plasma wave, what Neptune, what all of this, how we link all in and weave together all these beautiful pieces. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next Sunday. Thanks.